Bells jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to see Tottenham win away. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to see Tottenham win away. Oh, lovely.
That's the start of the show.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special podcast. It's the Christmas special of the Spurs show with me, Phil Cornwell, and. It's live. Who are you? It's live in the 100 Club in London's glittering West End. Anyway, the West End of London. Get over it. And I'm joined.
Can I just say, Phil, before we continue with this recording, for those of you here live this evening, because as we mentioned, Jane's husband's over there selling great calendars and merchandise. Download calendars over there if you want to get your Christmas goodies in. And VSP Publishing with the official Tottenham biography and the Glory Glory Nights are over there. And after this recording, we're going to end the evening. We've got a Tottenham legend, really. We've got Mr. Chaz Hodges. We'll be doing a very rare and unseen set just on the old Jano over there, ending with a Tottenham anthem. So after this recording, please hang about.
That'll be brilliant.
The bars are still open. Please hang about and see Chaz.
Fantastic, yeah. Was that part of the show?
It is now.
It is now, great. Yes. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard the dulcet tones of Mr. Mike Lee. There we go. Mike Lee's here. And Mr. Theo Delaney. Hello. And the one and only Mr. Ledley King, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Lee. And it's fantastic. Thanks for agreeing for coming on, Ledley. We all appreciate that, obviously, here, and and it's just brilliant. And it's certainly the most recent player that we've had on our show, isn't he?
Terry Naylor.
Oh, pardon, Terry Naylor. Dear tell. Really, I wanted to start. Let's. Welcome, my name's Parkinson. Don't forget to buy the DVD. It's got 40 years of my great interviews. It was Jeff Boycott, ladies and gentlemen. Great friend of mine. Yeah, we know. Ledley, you grew up playing in quite a well-known Sunday football team called Senrab, I think, wasn't it, right?
That's right, yeah.
Who, weirdly enough, my son's team actually beat them a couple of years ago. And you weren't playing because you'd have looked really tall. No, but they were really good, and it was so good they actually beat them in the semi-final of the London Cup, which I was really proud of, because we knew what a tradition they had. And it's like a conveyor belt, Ledley, of players. I'm not naming them all here, but like John Terry. All right, give him a chance. John Terry, Jermaine Defoe, Sol. What's wrong with that? I mean, I think Bobby Zamora, and the list goes on. Ledley, well, what is it about that club, mate? Because there is I'm sure other clubs have that as well, but there's like a conveyor belt of people who made it as pros. Did they set you up for that, or what?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure what it was. I mean, it was all at a similar time as well, so...
It was... Who did you play with? Who now is playing? Who did you play with in Senrab? What age group were you with? Were you with John Terry?
I played with John Terry.
You played with John Terry when you were a 10-year-old then?
11, from 11.
Isn't that... and how extraordinary, Ledley, isn't it? Like, years and years later, there's this chant from the terraces about you... But also, it's kind of weird, isn't it? And you played together as kids.
But you guys played in Euro 2004 together as the... Was it Euro 2004 that you came in?
I didn't play with him. I played with Sol when I played.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. I must have erased that from my memory.
Why are we booing Sol? I don't understand this thing. No. Well, it's just... live and let live, eh? God knows how. So, I mean, and you end up... obviously, playing. What's that? How did you end up at Spurs? How did you end up at Spurs, mate? And what coaches kind of helped your progression? But how did you get to Tottenham? Really?
Well, I think most of my Sunday league team at the time went to Leyton Orient. That was our local club. Yeah. So I think we had a whole team at Leyton Orient, and then slowly everyone slipped away from. And some ended up West Ham. Arsenal, Charlton. Me and two other lads come down to Tottenham and train there, and loved it straight away.
What age were you first at Tottenham training? What age were you?
I was 14 when I joined.
14, right. And when you got, did you think? I'm sure you didn't think, but did you think I'm going to make it, or what do you? I know you wanted to be a professional. Obviously, wanted to play professional football. Did you think then you were going to make it, or was there uncertainty? Because you know how ruthless it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're bloody good, so that helps. But you know what it's like, Ledley. Not everyone gets through, mate.
Yeah. But I wasn't really thinking that at the time. Which
that's it. That's the key.
I should have been, but I wasn't thinking like that. I was thinking, I want to make it. I'm going, and.
But that's the attitude, mate. You've got to have that.
I think, you try to advise education as well, but I kind of was more focused on the football.
Did you just want to play football all day, every day, basically, as a kid growing up? Was that
basically,
exactly what?
That was all.
So to get the chance to play professionally is like the ultimate, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you just obviously you go there and you work hard as a youngster, and you kind of just make the natural progression up, and it's a long time ago now, but I made my debut. But
you made your debut. Let's look at that.
It takes a while.
What was your memory? Your debut, I think, was at Anfield, wasn't it?
Yeah,
under Man in a Raincoat, under George Graham.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you remember how you felt in that dressing room with the senior players and you're playing? And
well, I've been involved in the squad quite a few times, and I was training with the first team a lot, so I got to know the players quite a bit. But I just remember we was 3-0. I think it was 2-0 up at the time, and Maurizio Tarico got sent off just before half time, and George Graham said to me, "I'll be coming on." Naturally, I was nervous.
Yeah.
And come out in the second half. We lost 3-2 in the end. But it was daunting.
Were you thinking, please don't let me F up, basically? Were you thinking that? Because you must have been thinking that. Geez, Anfield.
Yeah,
you're in the spotlight. Okay, who's this kid coming on?
I think I come on at left back, and I don't think I've played left back since. But
did it all pass in a blur? Did it pass in a blur, kind of?
Yeah, it really did. It was finished before I knew it. I was obviously delighted to have got on and played, but obviously disappointed that we lost.
So George had faith in you, obviously. George Graham, who we all love. Yeah. Yes. Well, he won us a cup, didn't he? For goodness' sake. But yeah, obviously.
He must have.
Yeah. Could you really? Sorry, Mike. What were you going to say?
No, just.
We certainly.
But all the games you had at Tottenham, I mean, I understand it's very difficult. These are the questions that various people have wanted to ask. Do you have a sort of what you consider personally what was the greatest game that you think you had in a Tottenham shirt? Was there one defining game that you think you're almost impeccable in?
No. To be honest, I always look at the team and what the team performance. It's not, my best game might have been in a loss or a draw. I don't, I've just look at the team games, and the best team game I played in was obviously winning the Carling Cup against Chelsea. I couldn't tell you my best performance. I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was some result, actually, wasn't it? You think back on that, actually. That's when Chelsea used to be good, wasn't it? You can't. Class is permanent. Yeah. All right. Here's one for you. Who was your best mate in the Spurs side, Ledley? Who was your best mate, if you had one? Would you say? Would that be?
I enjoyed playing with Robbie. Robbie was there a long time with me, and obviously. I think Jermaine's the next one who's been there the longest. Yeah. So but I get on well with all the lads, But yes. Jermaine's probably been there the longest, so
And who's the worst dressed there? That was another question.
Yeah.
Someone got awful taste.
Yeah. Pavlyuchenko was bad. He was bad. He was.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Another great question we had here. Thierry Henry said you were the best defender he ever played against. What was the secret What was the secret to keeping Henry in your back pocket?
Stick him in the nuts.
The funny thing that, even though Henry said that, he probably scored in most of the games they played against us anyway.
Yeah.
So it goes to show, I've always said that he's, you can keep him quiet for most of the game, but he was that good that, it took one moment for him to produce.
And he'd be gone, sort of thing.
Yeah. Or, whether he was curling one in the top corner or just picking it up and running. It only took one moment with him.
Oh, and thank God he doesn't play for them anymore.
He's
thank
coming
God
back in January.
Oh, yeah, but no, the Henry, not the same Henry, is it? No. Because at the moment you're kind of involved a lot with the development squad, and that'd be right to say, wouldn't it? Tottenham.
Well, I've just,
what are you doing?
Les Ferdinand and Tim Sherwood are there working with the development squad at the moment. So, they told me, they invited me to come down and just get involved with them, really. So, I've been slowly getting into it and trying to.
And you're doing your badges and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've just started that. So.
Interesting.
Are
you looking for a managerial position? Yeah. Can you imagine,
future Tottenham manager?
Oh, what? It's a shoo-in. It's a shoo-in. I would love that. I mean, just on that subject, management, mate, it takes a certain type of thick-skinned individual to be able to get. I mean, the pressure on the managers is extraordinary. I mean, would you fancy it, in all seriousness, or don't you know yet? Kind of. What do you think?
For me, the first thing was just to get into coaching. See how much I enjoy that. Yeah. And I would just progress from there. At the moment, I'm enjoying trying to help the younger players at Tottenham, and I'll just.
And how old are these kids that are playing that you're involved with? How old are they?
They've been anything from 14 to 20, 21.
And have you seen anyone who's sort of outstanding? You must have seen a couple.
Yeah,
there's hopeful signs.
Yeah, there's some kids who are 15, 16-year-olds who are really, really good players. So the future's really it's looking bright for Tottenham. I mean, there's some really good young players there.
Yes, I mean it's quite a ruthless business. Who's that? There we are. There's one. There you go. There's people who know their stuff. These are coming through. I mean, but it's so hard to actually make it in reality, isn't it? Because it's quite a ruthless game, isn't it, mate? In the end, there comes a certain point where you get cut off, really, isn't it? And only a few make it through, like we were talking earlier on. It's very few. Small percentage, isn't it, who actually come through, make it into the first team.
Yeah, I think over the years there's been a few that have come through, but they've obviously moved on to other clubs. Yeah. So. Which is for the players, it's about getting their development and becoming as good as they can. Even if they don't make it through at Tottenham, then they can go and get a career elsewhere. But it is becoming more and more difficult, obviously, with the money involved now and the pressures. So,
a lot. Is it? Yeah, more so than when you started, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
Even in that kind of short time, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And at 19, go on, sorry.
So the other thing you're doing at the moment, obviously ambassador at the Tottenham Foundation. So what's your sort of role week in, week out with the foundation? And maybe, especially the listeners around the world, can you tell us a little bit about what the foundation does?
Well, I've been, again, working with kids quite a bit. I've got a foundation called Skills, and, there's a lot of kids in the local area, the Tottenham area, that go there. And they can participate in sports, various different sports, and there's computers there. They can go and do work and get an education there as well. So they're really enjoying that, and it's fun to be involved with it.
No, it sounds good. And I just want to whether you decided finally, no, that's it. I'm knocking it on the head now, mate. And was there a moment, Ledley, where you thought, because it was always amazing. I think everyone here will agree. Just some of the games you played, mate, and it was almost like they'd sort of not wheeling you on, but you didn't train, but you come out with these performances which were amazing, mate, and it must have been frustrating for you, really frustrating for you, the stop-start. I don't know, mate. I mean, you must have obviously found a way of dealing with it, but yeah.
I think that was a difficult part. I think 5 years of not training it obviously takes its toll on you. But it wasn't so much the knee. It was the knee, but I was getting a lot of injuries because of not training. A lot of muscle injuries. And obviously the knee was restricting. There was certain things I couldn't do, and halfway through last season I took a bit of a whack on the kney, and from then on I really struggled. And,
how restricting was it actually on the pitch? Did you feel pain at times, like oh god, and you went through it and stuff? Would you go through the pain?
Occasionally, I mean, you learn to position yourself and not. Yeah. Not put yourself into
you adapt to your game.
Obviously, if I'd done a slide tackle and my knee bent backwards, it would hurt because I can't really bend my knee too much. But you learn to play. You just learn to play.
You adapt, and you did that so well. I mean, it's extraordinary. I don't know many other players who do you, Theo? I mean,
the only other player that comparable that I remember was Paul McGrath, who used to do, who was in some ways similar, same position, had an incredible vision and reading of the game, and never trained. He wasn't as good as Ledley, but he was good, and it was a similar situation. I felt, but so it just shows you if you know, it's like what they used to say about Teddy. If your first yard is in your head, if you just know the game, you can just about do it, can't you? I mean, you did it unbelievably well.
Yeah, I obviously wouldn't advise it, but
right.
Well,
you had to be top class to do it. That's what I suppose.
Yeah, quite right, mate.
I just obviously found a way to continue, and you learn along the way. As you get older, you learn your position better, and I think that helped me.
Who do you say you've learnt a lot off? Actually, in fact, who stands out for you in terms of people you've learnt a lot off at that level, starting out?
Yeah, funny. I said that Neighbour was one of the people. Seriously,
who?
Noureddin Neighbour.
Yeah.
Because
sorry, I say who? I didn't quite hear what.
He came to the club and he was a lot older.
Yeah.
And when I played with him, he used to always try to step up and play offsides and try to be too clever, and I was just used to run in because I had pace, so I wasn't trying to be clever. I was just
that's how
defending,
you play.
And I gradually got to understand that there's more ways to defend other than strength and pace, and funny enough, that kind of helped me because then I learned a few tricks as I got older when I didn't want to run with people that you learn ways to cheat, so to speak, in the game, and that helped me. So he is someone that did help me. Yeah,
it's interesting, that, isn't it? And,
was there certain games where you felt the need beforehand, but it was a big game and you had to effectively lie to the coaching staff and go, "Yeah, I'm fine, Gaffer"? Did that happen on quite a few occasions?
And did they believe?
Or were you quite honest and went, "I can't do 90 minutes"?
Yeah, there was loads of times where I didn't.
You heard it.
I just, in general, I'd go out on the day before a game and do a bit of training. But there were some times where I'd go out and I felt so bad that I'd have to come in. But I just thought I've still got 24 hours until the game. I'll be all right.
I love that, mate. I mean, you had to do that. You had to do it like that, didn't you, mate? Do you not find it's astonishing? You were so highly thought of, actually, that it was a priority to have you in the team, injured or not, and that says such a lot about you, mate. And as a player, doesn't it? That. That they valued you so highly.
Yeah, I think you need a manager that obviously allows you to do that, because not every manager would.
No, quite.
I was thankful for Harry for that.
Harry's been sympathetic to that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
But still, I mean, everyone would probably agree here. I generally don't remember seeing you have what I call a bad game. I don't remember coming out of White Hart Lane and going, "Oh, so and so is bad. King didn't have a good game." Generally, that's true. Injured or not injured, you're just one of these players that was constantly consistent and always gave his best.
I think, as I say, halfway through the season, I took a big whack in training, and after that, I knew that my knee was in a bad way, but I just wanted to try and continue to the end of the season and see it out and see what happened. But it's probably the worst I've played in my career in the second half of the season. So there there was plenty of games in the second half that.
Just as a matter of interest, who gave you the whack?
Yeah.
Who did you take the whack on? They didn't give it to you. You had a whack and that's it, because it happens, I'm sure.
It was just a collision in training.
Was it Pav?
Pardon?
Was it Pav?
No. It was.
And you felt it. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and my knee it blew up. I missed a few games, and
that moment when you had to let it all go, that must, I don't know, but you obviously made a decision and you've got to accept that, haven't you, and embrace that and just move on, haven't you? But I can imagine having to let it go, or I don't know, it's just tough.
Yeah, I think I didn't actually think the knee could get any worse, to be honest, than until I took the whack, and then I realised that it was,
And there must have been times when it drove you absolutely bonkers, actually, mate. I don't know, to put it lightly, and with frustration. And I mean, how did you get through it? I mean, did you just have?
It was frustrating.
But the difficult times, really.
Time
when it got down.
Going in every day and not training, not being with the lads. I would say that I didn't enjoy going in every day to do that. You're in the gym or you're in the pool, but you just want to play football. But at the end of the day, I knew that I wanted to get to the match, and that's what kept me going. Yeah.
Yeah. And when did you first feel? When did that first start occurring? Actually, that with the knee sort of thing. Quite a few years, was it?
Yeah. The first time I had an operation on the left knee was when I was 19, but
God,
I went a few years and it was totally fine. Right. Then about 23 it started to play up a little bit, but I think 26 was when I had the big operation on it.
It's so common, Ledley, isn't it? The knees, footballers, knees, always the knees, isn't it? Dodgy bumbles. Bumblebees' knees. No, but it's true that all ex-pros, old pros, Ledley, they all got knees.
But there was
twisting, turning, all that.
But there was that. Obviously, you scored a couple of goals for England, but there was the England injury, wasn't there, in 2010 in the World Cup campaign? But, again, that was another injury. That was
just a muscle injury. It was just one of them things. I felt good because I'd played quite a few games towards the end of the season, and I was in decent form, and I obviously got picked for the World Cup, and then. I felt fit. I felt like I was over, because it used to be like 3-4 games and then I'd feel something. But I always felt once I got over that hump of games that I wouldn't pull any more. Get the injury problems. But obviously, I felt something 5 minutes into the USA game, and I couldn't actually bring myself off the pitch. So I stayed on until half time, and then obviously just come off then. So yeah.
And how great was it being involved in a World Cup sort of thing?
Yeah, it's a dream come true. Any young player, you obviously dream of playing in the World Cup. I think the manager, Capello, had tried to pick me prior to that quite a few times. But as I say, I never felt fit enough to be joining up with England. So I kept turning it down. But then obviously a World Cup is... and as I say, when I finished the season quite well, so I thought, I'm going to go, I'll give it a try.
And you've played at a World Cup? I don't think many of us can actually claim that, really.
Bringing it forward to now, you've obviously played with many Tottenham players, under many Tottenham managers. You've seen us, the recent years under Yol, under Ramos. And obviously now this current group of players we've got, this current squad that I know you're not playing, but you're still part of the club and their mates and all that. How good do you think this current team is, and how far do you think this team can go?
I think we've got, I think over the last last 2 years we've got probably the best squad I've played with. I think we can go as far as we want. As long as we continue to work hard, and the aim is to keep progressing. Last season we was looking like we could possibly challenge at one point. So I think you have to learn from your failings, and hopefully you know, that will stand us in good stead when next time we do try and go for the league title, you know.
Yeah, because we do, you know, and the key also is to hang on to players as well, certain key players, if possible, is of course that's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously,
Bale.
You know, that's just part and parcel of the game. Obviously, players come and go, but I think that we've replaced the players that have left really well. So,
I think so. I mean, Dembele is wonderful, isn't he? He's got a great dynamic, a great energy about him, and he's a terrific player.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He makes a difference, doesn't he, Ledley?
Definitely.
And he has done a reasonable job of replacing Luka Modric, hasn't he? And it's. I mean, he's going pretty well at the moment, mate, isn't he? He's going pretty well at Tottenham at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's always going to take a little bit of time with the new manager for him to get his ideas across, and you know, I think the good thing is that we can see the progress that the team are making, and you know, as I say, it's going to take a bit of time, but you know, I believe he'll get there.
Yeah, and it would be great for Tottenham to win the Premier League, wouldn't it?
In my lifetime, yes.
In your lifetime.
That's all I asked for in my life.
Yeah.
One thing is all I asked.
Yeah, just the one thing. Yeah.
And you've been doing some, because Daniel Wynn's been on the show, is it? You've been doing some commentary there for Spurs TV as well. Is this something you can continue doing, some more sort of punditry, sort of commentary work? Yeah. Or is it something you don't want to do?
I'm not sure yet. No, yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. But he told me that the gantry at White Lane's really cold, so that's why I've not been up there yet. So.
And the camera angle at White Hart Lane, I don't know if anyone agrees, the camera angle has always been awful, isn't it? It's been like shot from above, basically, isn't it? I don't know, it's always been like that over the years. Yes! Got ITV as well, yes. And I've got BBC too. There was a Saltsier Campbell. No, I mean, Ledley, you're obviously a mate of his anyway. You know Sol and from. I know, but yeah. Were you at Spurs when he made his debut? Were you at Tottenham at that time? No, you in the youth. No, even young. You might have been very young.
I was. I think I was.
Like 1992 when he came on.
Was it that early?
Yeah, it was.
No,
it was, mate. It was that long ago. It was that long ago. Because that's one of the questions, you know. And do you actually speak to each other today? It's what it says. I mean, I didn't come up with this.
Other than when I met up with England or. Bumping into him. It's not. I don't speak to him on the phone or anything like that. So.
No. He's not having a go.
You can see the headlines now. I don't speak to him on the phone. There we are. We need to wrap this up. It's been an absolute joy. Thank you so much.
Yes, it has.
We know the evening's been running over. We know you've been busy. Thank you so much for drawing us against Home to Coventry earlier. And thank you very much when you drew out Swansea and Moamba drew out Arsenal. Thank you so much for laughing on live television at Arsenal's plight as they go out of another competition.
Yes!
Thank you.
Thank you, Ledley King. Theo Delaney and Mike Lee.